Why does the world praise a man's sensitivity, but shame his stoicism? Why does it applaud vulnerability, but mock strength? It calls masculinity toxic, yet leans on it for protection, structure, and sacrifice. Amid this confusion, many men begin to shrink. They apologize for being firm, for being focused, for being driven. They second-guess their assertiveness. They hide their ambition. They downplay their competence as if strength was something shameful. But here's the truth. Masculinity is not the problem. The problem is unrestrained ego or force without principle. Masculinity, when led by virtue, by wisdom, justice, courage, and self-discipline, is not only good, it is essential. We Stoics have never seen masculinity as disgraceful. We see it as a force to be mastered, refined, and offered to the world in service. This is a reclaiming of that truth. You will not apologize for your strength. You will refine it, direct it, and lead with it. 1. Masculinity is power in restraint, not in domination. True strength isn't about overpowering others, it's about mastering yourself. Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." The wild man may conquer lands, but he loses his soul. The Stoic man conquers self and becomes a source of strength for others. Masculinity isn't brute force, it's focused force. It's passion trained by discipline, desire ruled by principle, strength aimed at purpose. Why does this matter? Because strength without virtue becomes destruction, but without strength, virtue crumbles under pressure. Masculinity isn't about dominance, it's power in order. How to apply it? Build your strength physically, financially, mentally, but tie it to service, not ego. Use your gifts to protect, build, uplift, never to control, reject. Both extremes, aggression without wisdom, passivity without courage. And remember, restraint isn't weakness, it's the mark of power under control. 2. Strength must be claimed, not inherited. Today's culture tells men to just be themselves, as if strength will appear on its own. But we know nothing noble comes without effort. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "You must build up your life action by action." Masculinity isn't handed to you, it's forged through hardship, responsibility, and the pursuit of virtue. In the last part, we learned this simple truth: real strength doesn't dominate, it governs the self. Now, let's go one step deeper. Strength must be proven, not merely wished for. 3. Strength must be earned, not assumed. Why does this matter? Entitlement weakens men. Effort builds them up. Strength forged through challenge is unshakable. No one will give you permission to become who you're meant to be. You must claim that right through effort. So how do you apply it? Treat every hardship as strength training. Stop waiting for praise or validation from outside. Earn your self-respect through daily trials. Remember, you are not owed confidence. You must earn it through action. A Stoic reminder: don't wish to be strong. Become the kind of man who can bear the burden. 4. The world needs strong men, even if it pretends otherwise. Look back at history. Men built bridges, fought on battlefields, and carried the burden of protection for centuries. Yet today, the world dares to ask, do we really need strong men anymore? Seneca once wrote, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The modern man's struggle is no longer only physical, it is psychological. They're told that in order to be useful, they must be less themselves, less masculine, less bold, less driven. But strength, when guided by conscience, is still essential. Communities need protectors. Families need leaders. Women seek partners grounded in strength. And boys desperately need role models of noble masculinity. Why does this matter? Because when strong men disappear, chaos enters. Weak men do more harm through inaction than strong men ever do through firm action. Civilization stands on the shoulders of disciplined and capable men. How to apply it? Never downplay your capacity. Develop it and offer it where it matters. Lead when others hesitate. Provide when others pull back. Stand firm when others fall. Understand this: you were not made to be hidden. You were made to hold the line. A Stoic reminder: be the man others can rely on, not because they fear you, but because they trust you. 5. Strength without purpose is just noise. A man with power but no mission becomes a danger to himself and to everyone around him. Marcus Aurelius once warned, "A wrongdoer is often a man who has left something undone, not just someone who did wrong." Many modern men chase strength to impress, to dominate, to compete. But Stoic strength is never loud or aimless. It is calm. It is directed. It is governed by principle. Without a mission, strength turns into indulgence. It becomes arrogance in disguise. And in the next section, we'll dive into how to give your strength direction, how to turn power into purpose. In the last section, we saw that when strength is tied to purpose, it becomes legacy. Now let's go further. 6. With purpose, strength becomes legacy. Why does this matter? Because a strong man with no direction will ultimately become his own enemy. Purpose gives your power meaning. It lifts you above ego. Men thrive when their strength is used for something greater than themselves, for family, for a cause, for a mission. How to apply it? Define it. What are you protecting? What are you building? What do you stand for? Use your growth not just to rise, but to help others rise with you. Ask yourself weekly, is my strength serving a purpose or just feeding my pride? A Stoic reminder, strength becomes virtue only when it serves. 7. Masculine energy is creative, not just combative. Today's culture often paints masculinity as aggression, violence, or dominance. But that's a shallow, incomplete picture. True masculine energy is creative. It builds, it solves, it organizes, it leads, it creates order out of chaos. Epictetus taught, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. Masculine men don't just fight. They build families, they forge businesses, they mentor others. They lay foundations for civilization. To apologize for masculine drive is to insult the very force that has built generations. Why does this matter? Because men flourish when they're building, not just resisting. Creativity is not weakness. It is the highest form of masculine strength. The builder creates the world others only complain about. How to apply it? Choose a domain where you can build your body, your career, your skills, your relationships. See your strength as a tool for creation, not just protection or reaction. Stop defending masculinity. Start demonstrating what it can build. A Stoic reminder, the strongest man is the one who quietly builds, while others loudly destroy. 8. Refuse to inherit shame that isn't yours. Modern culture often pressures men to carry guilt for things they didn't do. You're told to apologize for being male, for being confident, for speaking directly, for being ambitious, for wanting to lead. But Stoicism teaches, own your actions, not the accusations of the crowd. Marcus Aurelius wrote, look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if thou wilt dig. You are not guilty of being a man. Your only responsibility is, are you a good man? A strong man does not carry guilt that does not belong to him. He lives with clarity, integrity, and purpose. He lets the world accuse him without reaction. Why does this matter? Because carrying shame that isn't yours will slowly erode your spirit. And in the next part, we'll explore how to live without fear of judgment, how to be grounded in your identity, your values, and your quiet resolve. In the last part, you saw, don't carry shame that isn't yours. A strong man lives with purpose, clarity, and doesn't let the world's false accusations shake him. 9. False shame clouds judgment. Rejecting it is liberation. Guilt without fault is a tool of social control. And when you refuse to carry it, you reclaim your freedom. Your worth is not defined by others' stories about you. It's determined by the choices you make every single day. How to apply this? When someone criticizes you for being too masculine, ask yourself, is this about virtue or about control? Clarify your values. Reject guilt that doesn't stem from your own mistakes. Stand tall, not with arrogance, but with clean hands and a clear conscience. A Stoic reminder, no man owes the world an apology for being what nature made him to be, only for being less than what he could become. 10. Real men feel deeply, but are ruled by principle, not emotion. The Stoic man does not deny emotion. He feels pain, love, betrayal, joy, and grief. But he is not ruled by those feelings. Epictetus wrote, "It's not what happens to you that matters, it's how you react to it." Masculinity doesn't demand emotional suppression, it demands emotional mastery. You can cry and not collapse. You can love and not lose yourself. You can hurt and not become bitter. Your emotions are like wild horses, powerful, spirited, and tamed. But your reason is the reins. Your purpose is the direction. Why does this matter? Emotional denial leads to breakdown. Emotional indulgence weakens resolve. Emotional discipline brings strength with sensitivity. How to apply it? When emotions surge, pause and name them. I am angry. I am hurt. I am anxious. Then ask, what does virtue require of me right now? Practice responding, not reacting. Let reason lead. A Stoic reminder, you are not a stone. You are a man, strong enough to feel, disciplined enough to remain unmoved. 11. Build in silence. Let results speak. Ambition is natural for masculine energy, but the need to always announce it, that's weakness wearing a mask. The Stoics didn't posture or boast. They built. Seneca said, don't explain your philosophy, embody it. You don't need to argue your worth. You don't need to justify your ambition. You need only to keep rising, working, and building until your life becomes undeniable. The world doesn't respect loud declarations. It respects quiet excellence. Why does this matter? Because external validation fades. Inner mastery endures. Silent growth builds substance, not ego. In the last section, we spoke of quiet growth and how excellence doesn't require noise, just consistency. Now we turn to a powerful truth. Don't wait for permission to become the man you admire. 12. Discipline in secrecy multiplies impact when success arrives. You don't need to post your goals. You don't need to seek praise or explain your vision. Set personal targets, then chase them in silence. Celebrate discipline, not attention. Focus on becoming, not appearing. Build yourself, not just your image. A Stoic reminder, let your results thunder. Your voice can remain. Calm. 13. Don't wait for permission to be the man you admire. Too many men spend years waiting to be approved, to be promoted. To be admired. To be chosen. But Stoicism teaches virtue needs no permission. Leadership needs no title. Strength needs no applause. Marcus Aurelius, though an emperor, once wrote, waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Don't wait for culture to validate you. Don't wait for the world to label you strong. Choose to become what you admire. Right now, right where you are. Why this matters? Because waiting feeds the belief that you are not ready. And truth is, permission is rarely granted. It is claimed through action and integrity. How to apply it? Ask yourself daily, what would the man I admire do today? Then do that. Lead in your home, your work, your thinking, without needing validation. Stop chasing status. Pursue service and status will follow. A Stoic reminder, you don't need the world's permission to be excellent. You need only your own. Decision. 14. Masculinity is a gift to be sharpened, not a flaw to be hidden. Let's end with a truth few are willing to say. Masculinity is not toxic. Toxicity stems from immaturity, insecurity, and violence, and that exists in all genders. But disciplined, grounded, principled masculinity, built on strength, honor, and wisdom, that is a gift. To yourself, to your family, to your society. We Stoics embodied this. Marcus ruled with justice. Epictetus taught slaves to reclaim power. Seneca mentored emperors. Our lives were defined by action and principle, not apology or retreat. Why this matters? Because modern men are starving for meaning. And that hunger is only fed by embracing, not rejecting, their masculine nature. To reject masculinity is to reject structure. Strength. Service. When men sharpen their masculinity, they bring stability and courage to a fragile world. How to apply it? Study great men from history. Extract the virtues they lived by. Mentor younger men. Lead by showing them that masculinity can be strength paired with virtue. In the last section, we affirmed a truth few dare to speak. Masculinity is a gift to sharpen, not a flaw to hide. And now it's time to fully claim that truth by living with rightful pride in who you are. 15. Be open about your pride in being a man, not as superiority, but as stewardship. Don't be afraid to feel a quiet, steady pride in being a man, but not the kind of pride that belittles others, the kind that comes from knowing you carry a responsibility. Masculinity is not a problem to fix, it is a force to refine, a fire to direct, a stoic reminder. Masculinity is not a curse, it's a source. It's meant to be trained, focused, and used with purpose. Final thoughts: stand tall, without guilt, without apology. You are not here to shrink, you are not here to doubt your nature, you are not here to beg for permission to become what time, trial, and history have carved you into. You are a man with strength, not for cruelty, but for courage, with drive, not for dominance, but for contribution, with ambition, not for applause, but for legacy. The Stoic man walks forward, not needing everyone to understand him. He doesn't attack, but he won't bow. He doesn't posture, but he refuses to hide. He doesn't explain, because his life explains itself. So, stand tall, not because the world applauds you, but because you approve of yourself. Your masculinity is not a curse, it is your calling. And now, answer it. You don't need to become someone else, you just need to become yourself. The strongest, most grounded, most disciplined version. This world doesn't need more perfect men. It needs real men, men who sharpen themselves, live by principle, and step forward when others step back. If something in this video awakens something in you, don't let it stop at feeling. Turn it into action. Share this video with a man who needs to hear this, and drop a comment. What part of this video challenged how you see yourself as a man? This isn't just a video. It's a call to strength, character, and legacy. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next step of the journey.